is this series over now, basically?
Can we give Kobe Bryant some credit here for the secret sabotage of the
for
Boston
ruining
Celtics?
Jason Tatum
and Kyrie Irving.
And Kyrie, yeah. Mamba mentality. Long contested twos. Let's do it, boys.
Oh, my goodness. Is the series over?
Is it?
No, but it's on life support. Wait, Nick. I'm the person who told Nick that in Game 3, the Bucks figured out that they're the better team in this series.
I picked Bucks in 5 before the series. I've had the Celtics out in the second round all year long, so you didn't tell me nothing.
Yeah, you did tell us on Nick's show. You
are right. Okay,
you did say it right here.
Okay.
But so how is it not over now?
No, even though you might have believed the same thing, you just saw that defining moment. As you had said clearly, in these series, one of these teams eyeballs the other team. And it might be Game 3, it might be Game 5, might be a Game 6. Very seldom it's Game 7, but it was early in Game number 3. Nick came into this series thinking that we're getting ready to see the Milwaukee Bucks that he had talked about, the coach that he had bragged about, and the Giannis that he thought was emerging and was going to replace LeBron as the greatest player. So I understand, but you did warn us on his show.
That's true. It was on his show.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
Now, I forgot, CC. Who was the crown prince of a head coach that
Brad Stevens.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is he still there?
Well, right now he's not.
Okay.
Last year at this point, Nick had him second in the league, but he was eyeing Popovich. Brad Stevens was eyeing Popovich as the best in the league.
So what's going on? So hold on. You think the Celtics still have a path here?
No. I'm not saying that there's a slight crack in the door, but I don't think it's likely. I don't have a flight booked to Boston for Game 6 because I don't think there's going to be a Game 6. I think the Bucks will put them away because they have realized not only are we the better team, but we can exert one run on them and not make them quit, but give them extreme doubt.
Because you just saw them do it.
In the last 3 games, they put third quarter runs on them, plus 20, plus 9, plus 10. Basically, we can play you even for a half and figure you out, and by the end of the third quarter, we have put ourselves at a distance away from you, and you cannot catch us. It's very similar to me, to Golden State, how Golden State used to put teams away last year and play good enough defense in the last final 15 minutes of the game where you couldn't make a comeback. And I think that's the spot that the Bucks and the Celtics are right now.
And what is I know we'll get to Kyrie, but Kyrie aside, what is so embarrassing for Boston is last night, the Bucks went on that run with Giannis and Middleton on the bench. Giannis picked up, I tweeted it when it happened. In the final 30 seconds of the first half, there was a big moment. Giannis picked up fouls 2 and 3 real quick. He picked up his second foul trying to block a Marcus Morris shot, and he picked up his third foul the next time down the court on a charge. So all of a sudden, Giannis, who'd gone almost the entire first half with 1 foul, goes into halftime with 3. And I said, man, that could be a big moment for Boston in a close game. Then early in the third quarter, he picks up foul number 4. And now he is to the bench for the rest of the third. Couple minutes later, Chris Middleton, who's having a rough game, but he's their second best player, he picks up foul number 4. At that moment, the game is tied. And then with the bench, Milwaukee goes on a 17-7 run, which now means they went into the fourth quarter up 8 with Giannis fully rested, with Giannis ready to just annihilate people, and he did with 17 fourth-quarter points. At the end of the day, the Bucks are who they were all year, a two-way juggernaut with an unstoppable force in Giannis. And the Celtics were who they were all year, an inconsistent, moody, mediocre shooting team that has a star player who has never been a star player on his own on this stage. And after it was all good through 5 games, all good just a week ago, and then this run happened, Kyrie's last 3 games happened, which were as poor of a 3-game stretch as he's had at any point in his career, and it's going to end up being 3 of the final 4 games he ever plays in Boston.
How surprised are you, CC, with the way Kyrie's been playing the last 3 games, after everything we've heard all regular season and after his Game 1 against the Bucks?
I'm a person that I've had a lot of faith in Kyrie. I like for the style for which he plays, but typically, every player doesn't fit in every system. And Kyrie is still a great player, but he doesn't fit into what they're trying to do in Boston, the offensive system where they want movement. They want guys to everyone to be able to touch the ball. Kyrie Irving is the best dribbler of the basketball we have in the NBA. He's one of the best finishers at the rim that we have in the NBA. So it's like there's 2 good styles. They just can't coexist together. So I'm shocked. I thought that they would play great defense, keep the game close, and Kyrie Irving would be spectacular in the fourth quarter.
Close.
That's what he typically does. Kyrie Irving had a great season. Now, one thing that I didn't like about the Boston Celtics, where they played better without him. Now, Toronto and some other teams have played good basketball, but they weren't playing better basketball without Kawhi, even though they were winning games. In the Celtics, there was always a comfort level that when Kyrie's not here, we might be a little bit better. And by the way that Kyrie plays, it's just not a great match for Brad and these other young players for what they're going to do. Kyrie Irving, with that interview, if you're playing Brad Stevens-type basketball, you don't say at 22 shots, I should have shot 8 more. You talk about getting my teammates involved, getting one of them hot so that we can have someone else that can affect them on the offensive end. So for me, I'm disappointed in Kyrie because he's a spectacular basketball player and has been spectacular in the playoffs. I thought after missing last year's playoffs, he was going to come back to the national stage strong.
I think, CC, as much as you are right on that, I think that is completely incomplete. Because where's Gordon Hayward? He was the guy that we thought had turned the corner in the last series. Isn't Gordon Hayward the highest paid player on the roster?
And the last 3 games from Gordon Hayward, 4 of 18 and minus 49 while he's on the court.
And here's the thing that people need to remember. This was supposed to be the year the Celtics had been gearing up for out of the last 4.
Yes.
With no LeBron and no top of the Eastern Conference, and you still have all your quote-unquote assets and players that you can hoard for the next superstar to come on the market, and you wound up lucking into Kyrie Irving a year earlier anyway. To me, Kyrie Irving is a convenient scapegoat because he talked it. If Kyrie Irving's numbers were just the numbers, you could say, you know what, this kid has never been on the stage by himself. This is something that happens. He didn't even play in the playoffs last year. To me, this is a bigger indictment of the culture of the Celtics because this season has been completely inconsistent. The coaching has not been good. The roster construction has not been good either. And although the Gordon Hayward injury was unfortunate last year and it created some opportunities for, Tatum and Brown and some of these other guys, you did not manage that situation properly in the offseason or now, and I think it's coming home. I think Kyrie, whether he leaves the States, is just an easy scapegoat for Boston, but the other problems are still there.
Here's where I disagree with you quickly. Kyrie, when you're the star player on an underachieving team, throughout the regular season, you get a lot of heat, you get a lot of smoke. And all year long, Kyrie did his best to defer that by saying, wait till the playoffs.
Right.
I am made for the playoffs. I will lead in the playoffs. I'm excited for the playoffs. The playoffs are when it's fun. The playoffs are when it matters. And so there was a lot of people, I might not have been one of them, but a lot of people that reserved judgment on Boston and reserved judgment on Kyrie saying, okay, we'll see what you do in the playoffs. And those people were pom-pom waving when they swept the Pacers. And man, you should have listened to them when they beat up the Bucks in Game 1. Since then, they have fallen apart, and this is what Kyrie said he was waiting for. The Celtics fans, unfortunately, are still waiting for it, and they're not going to get it this year or ever with Kyrie in the Celtics uniform.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.